American Horror Story 1984, Episode 7, The Lady in White. This one starts in 1948, so we're jumping all over the damn place with this. And like I've said, they wear their homages on their sleeves very, very hard. You got some heavy-handed homages here with the cook of a summer camp whose son dies in the water while counselors are having sex, and then she kills everyone to get vengeance for it, and that puts it's got a death kiss on the place. So yeah, I don't think they could have been more obvious with that homage, but whatever. Anyways, so we realize that that's the golden child in the family, and that Jingles is the bastard son. And she, later in the episode reveals to him, it should have been you, which we've heard in so many movies by this point. Here's what I think about the American Horror Story writers. I don't know if it's the same guys every single time. I know that, the creators are in charge of it, so they have some obvious influence. I feel like they shoot themselves in the foot because they're trying to stretch things out and keep them interesting for too long. And so they'll keep trying to one-up themselves, and they'll just keep trying to pile on the craziness, and it just wears itself thin after a while. Usually around episode 5, 6, somewhere in that area, things just start to get a little too much. Like, it's escalating, and then it's just like, fuck, man, we're at a point now. I mean, this episode, we already have how many killers in this season at this point before this episode hit? Like, how many of these people were killing people or were killers? 10? A lot. A lot. This episode adds two more, and one's just so random. So we get our first appearance from Lily Rabe, as well as Dylan McDermott, which are guys who have been on the show in multiple seasons before, and we haven't seen them in a little while. So it was cool to see them. I didn't know if we were going to see them at all, but so they come on in here, and Dylan McDermott's character is just another hitchhiking serial killer who's trying to top the killings of Richard Ramirez and then his ultimate goal of Ted Bundy. And it's just like, another one? Really? Another one? I mean, how much bad luck can one person have? How much bad luck could Brooke possibly have to where she'd run into that? And then we find out from the surviving people, the not surviving people, the ghosts of the Camp Redwood there, that they are being now stalked by the Lady in White, which they find out, of course, is Jingles' mother. But it's just so late in the game to introduce this, and for her to now be revealed to be the one that corrupted Margaret, or at least pushed her over the edge. She was already a troubled girl, and here now we have Jingles' mother is the one that's responsible for giving her that final push. Would she have ever went down that road without the push? Would she not have? I mean, she makes mention of killing yourself to Jingles, and he does so right then thereafter. So her influence seems to be pretty strong. So I think that makes a good case for that. It's not Margaret's fault, but she's had a lot of time to change her ways. I don't know how long that stays with you, that influence, that desire, but clearly it's been a long time. I think that one could argue either, but I'm going with she was already mischievous for sure, and maybe had some kind of ulterior motives or nefarious ideas in her head, and she was able to expose them in her by whispering some words of encouragement. So I don't know. I don't know. I know that it's getting to the point where it's like, I can't take any more killers in the show. I can't take another person coming in and, doing a heel turn on us. It's just like, all right, enough's enough already. We have enough killers. Don't you have enough killers to choose from? Don't you have enough plot threads already started that you need to be throwing in these people as well? It's like throwing freaking gasoline on a forest fire. It's like, dude, the thing's already burning out of control and you're adding to it. So it's just getting a little much for me, where I legitimately kind of rolled my eyes when Dylan McDermott's character like shot the cop and it was another killer, and then he went into his little monologue there about how he wants to beat Bundy's record and all this. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many killers is this chick? This chick's just a serial killer magnet, obviously. So anyway, there you go. All right, so then where are we? Now, the reason that they are killing everyone at the camp now is because they think that is going to draw in paranormal investigators that are going to eventually figure out how to free them from their confines of the campgrounds so that they can roam free in the earth. I guess if they just knew they had to take Satan as their personal Lord and Savior there, then I'm sure some of them would do it. I think Montana would be the first up in line there. So maybe Ramirez will get a couple more people on his side. I could see that happening for sure, seeing as how they have this desire to leave so bad, and he has that ability to kind of grant them, that power. So it would make sense that he would be able to turn a couple to his side. But who? As I said, he's already kind of got Montana, who seems to just have a thing with everybody. I know she's supposed to be the slutty character, but she's got it going on with all sorts of characters in this. But Ramirez is one of them, so I could see him, kind of enticing her to come along with him and be part of his crew again. And we find out that Jingles killed his own mother after he found out that she had killed everyone. I feel like it's very convenient that no one has told them about the murders that took place 2 decades before that even. The 1970 murder, and then this one opens on 48, and he said it happened, and, a couple years later. It looked like he was the same age. So I think maybe he was just rounding up, and she did it that same year that the kid drowned. So 22 years before the 70 murder, and then 84. I mean, this is a long time past. So how old is Jingles, man? I mean, 48 to 89 already, just right there. I mean, you're talking freaking 41, and he's already a kid of probably 13 or so. So you're talking 54. I guess that's about right. That's about his age. Yeah. Okay. That would make sense. All right. Just always thinking on the fly here and coming up with these things. But all right. And yeah, we already talked about all that. His mom hates him. We talked about that. I do like that Brooke outwits Dylan in there. Oh, and I didn't even get to mention my favorite part of this episode. Now, this is, of course, because of my enormous crush on Emma Roberts, but just getting to see her kind of bond with Donna, and they're at the roller rink, and I was a kid of the 80s, so roller rinks bring back a little bit of nostalgia for me, but also her outfit is so goddamn sexy. The music is fun. The setting is great. It feels very 80s. She's so alive and happy, having not been happy in a few episodes now, and she's just so lovely. And that's such a great sequence. It just feels so 80s, and it really paid off for me. So I did really love that sequence. And as I said, that top was very flattering on her. All right, moving on from that. We get Lamal here from Kajagoogoo. Never ending story. That was funny to see him in here, and then for him to get killed by Richard Ramirez. I mean, that guy's still alive today, so obviously they're just like going to Quentin Tarantino on history here, and they're like, I don't care. Let's just kill them all from Kajagoogoo. Why not? And then, yeah, Jingles kills himself to protect his son, I guess, because he's now... I don't really know what... I didn't get that. Like, I guess maybe I can try to think of it right now. She's like, if Ramirez kills you, then you're dead and gone forever. But if you kill yourself now, then you'll have multiple lives to continue to keep fighting him as much as you need. But then he'd be stuck there. So all Ramirez would have to do is be like, oh, I killed you and you can come back. Now I'll just leave the campgrounds, and now you can't go protect your son because you can't leave the campgrounds. So killing himself, I feel like, limited his ability to protect his son, because he can now never leave there to go protect his son outside of the campgrounds, which Ramirez would have to stay on the campgrounds. So I'm not seeing why he would have to kill himself. But as I said, she's got some mega influence there, so maybe that's what it is. But I don't understand the reasoning of why he would need to kill himself. Did I miss something there? Because what I just said, I feel like, is a breakdown of logic that doesn't really make any sense. So make it make sense to me, please. Yeah, I think that's about it. So it's getting to be a little much. It's just getting to be a little much. I'm still in it. I'm going to still finish it 100%. I will watch anything with Emma Roberts all day long, so that's going to keep me involved. Bare minimum. It's not completely lost me by any means, and I didn't hate the episode, but as I said, just come on, how much more can you do? What's the next episode going to be like? How many more killers are going to be added? 5 more? Freaking Jingle's dad is going to come in, and he's a serial killer, and Montana's parents and their brothers and sisters, they're all going to be killers. And anyway, all right.